So I just gotta wait seconds.
They're creating all of the back end stuff, your server settings and stuff, your bit rate and all of that. And that can take some time. On average, I found it takes anywhere between 6 and 11 seconds, but it is more often around the 7 to 8 second mark. So we have a delay here of about 10 seconds just to make sure that the URLs and stuff that we need are actually populated by YouTube before we try to make our own global variable. Now, if you get through this and you're testing it out and you find that your variable is not being loaded, you can just come in here, double click on the delay, and then increase this time to something like 15,000 or even 20,000. Of course, you won't be able to make your stream markers for that time. So we have a 10-second delay before we can make our first stream marker, but that's still better than the minute and a minute and a half that is standard on the YouTube stream marker. But other than that, you don't really need to do anything in here. So we can go over to the stream marker action here. And this one, we have set by default the exclamation point mark as the trigger here, but this can be any trigger you want. So if you have a Stream Deck or Touch Portal, or you're using the StreamerBot Streamers Deck, you can make a button on that as the trigger. And so you just have to press the button, or you can make a voice command, or you can use the exclamation point mark that is included.
Oh, great command. But it's not working.
Completely up to you, but we're going to cover the command here in just a moment. But what we need to do here is we need to go into the OBS raw real quick and just make sure that we are connected. So I have a few connections for OBS, so I need to make sure that we're on the right connection. So
Yep.
if you do come in here and you see it, OBS is not connected, make sure obviously that your OBS is open and that it is connected to the StreamerBot. And if it is not, then you may have multiples like I do, and you just need to select the correct one. Okay, but once that goes away, you don't need to do anything here. Basically, this OBS raw is just gathering information from OBS about our stream status. So it's going to tell us things like how long we've been live and all of that, which is what we need. Okay, the next thing here is the get temp global. Now we're creating a temporary global because we don't want a persisted one, because every time you go live on YouTube, you're going to get a new URL. So what we want to do here is nothing. You don't have to do anything in here. We've got it all set up, ready to go. But this will basically create the variable, and then when you close StreamerBot, that variable will be deleted. So the next time you go live and you open StreamerBot, it won't be there, and it can create a brand new one for you. Now, the one thing you do need to do is in this write to file. We're going to double click into here, and you're going to see that the file to write to is blank. And we need to create a file, And for mine, I've just named it YouTubeMarkers.txt. You can name it whatever you want. Mine currently sits on the desktop, but I would recommend highly that you put this somewhere more permanent. If you have like a streaming folder where you keep all of your streaming stuff, or with your OBS LUAs or whatever, somewhere permanent. And then you're just going to come in here and we're going to click the three little dots and we're going to browse to that file. So there's mine right there. And then we're going to say save. And it's going to tell you that it already exists. Do you want to replace it? Here we say yes. Even though it's not really replacing it, it is there, and it just makes sure that it's pointing to the right one. And then you don't have to do anything else at all ever for this. We do want to append the file. That way you can have multiple markers. If you're going to write mark, for example, and then type in funny moment, right? It'll tell you what that is. So you can kind of like categorize your markers if you would like to. Now, this isn't going to show up on YouTube or anything, but it will show up in the text file. And then the rest of it is the URL that we are creating. This is the OBS raw that we pulled in from the lot of math that's going about. We need, of course, we have, right? One is there, but it is red, and red means disabled. So we can do this one of two ways. You can either right click on it and just click the enabled tag there, and that will work. Or we can double click into it to bring up the editor and just click the little enabled checkbox up here. Now you'll notice here that we have it set to YouTube. We have it set as !mark. Of course, you can change this to anything you want, but I do have it set to moderator only. That means only your moderators or you as the broadcaster can use text file. Do everybody, and then click the and you make sure that to this thing like that. To show you real quick, we're going to pull up our variables as well. So we're going to go non-persisted because this is what it's going to be. And we're just going to keep an eye on these two things once we go live. Okay. So here, bring this down a little bit and zoom in for you. So it is bringing that. It's going to run obviously the 10 seconds and then run. And now if we look at our non-persistent globals, we'll see that the YouTube URL now has the information in it that we need. So this value right here is the little value that YouTube sends to say, this is my live stream and not yours or the person next to me, right? And that's exactly what we're looking for. So now we can come in here and let's just minimize this down. And we're just going to come right into the chat and we're going to do ! Mark. And we're going to say hello. Now, if we look, nothing really happened. But if we go to our YouTube markers.txt and let's open this up, we will see, let me bring that over here. We'll see that we have a little link here, YouTube watch. It's a full link, and then it has a little timestamp of 50 seconds. So far under that minute and a half that YouTube requires before we can make a stream marker there. We're just going to copy this. And then we're going to go, and let me zoom out here. We're going to go to a new tab and we're just going to paste and go. And it's going to take us, even though this is a private and unlisted stream, it is still going to be there. And you can see if we click play, it takes us right to that moment. And there we just said hello.
I think I figured it out. That was weird. That's not actually broadcast started.